Right now, I consider this my get-up season. I lost my mom in March. It's been really challenging, and I knew I was fading, but the Lord showed me that you have purpose, and I always knew I had purpose. When I was 13, I used to write. I've been writing since I was 13. And forgive me because you didn't ask me to come on like speed, but just to give a little background, I've been writing since I was 13. And when the question was asked what I wanted to be, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a writer. And at that time, I wasn't really into poetry, but I like to write stories. But I wasn't clear where that came from. I know now that was the Holy Spirit. And they laughed. They laughed, oh no, you can't do that. You got to be a lawyer or a doctor. Considering my background, this was coming from my father, who is from Jamaica with a third grade education. So his thing was, no, be a lawyer, be a doctor. You'll never make it as a writer. And I stopped writing. And years had passed. And one day I had the urge to write, and I couldn't. And I wept. I mean, literally, I wept. Like, oh my goodness, I can't write. And so I cried out to the Lord and was like, please, because at that time I was writing about just things that I was observing. It had nothing to do with my life. And sometimes people would say, oh my God, that happened to you. And I'm like, no, I just observe other people. That's what I do. I observe people. And so I just kind of put myself in their shoes of what I imagined their situation to be like, and I would write about it. But I told the Lord that I would write for His glory.
Amen.
And so everything that I write for His glory. Everything that I write is a testimony of my own in some way. Everything that I write, when people ask me to speak, and I've been speaking for quite a while now, I let them know up front, because if you ask me to come into the school system, y'all gonna hear God, y'all gonna hear Jesus. If you fine with that, I'll be there. But I'm letting you know, I'm not tailoring it, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is who I am.
That's right.
So my word to Him was that I would write for His glory. So as long as they're fine with it, I show up. So this poem, the Lord gave it to me a few years ago, actually. I started it, but I never really finished it. And I actually thought it was for a different occasion, but I never used it for that. So when Tasha was like, oh, and I was coming to this event anyway. So it wasn't a matter of, so when she asked me, oh, I just looked at your website, can I work with you on an event? So I immediately was like, oh, sure. But I didn't think she meant this event, right? Because this was already in the making and already really done. It was just like, get your tickets. So I was like, oh, sure. But I was like, good, we'll do something, we'll collab in the future. So then when she hit me back, I was like, do you have something about purpose? And I'm like, well, I think I can do something now. It's not really finished, but I can finish it. So that's how strategic God is in His plan and His timing. So this piece is called Purpose. Not everything or everyone requires your attention, even though it desires to have it. You see, God placed you on this earth with a purpose. And like the air we breathe, you've got to have it. So you can't afford to be thrown off your course, because the minute you are, then you're distracted. And sure, you may come across some people that add great value to your life, but beware of the masters of subtraction. See, you've got to handle your business so you can walk in your purpose and receive God's pleasures, or you could say blessings, tomato, tomato. But let me ask one question. Are you getting the message? Y'all stay with me, please. Sometimes walking in purpose requires you on your knees. You've got to fast and pray. Oh yeah, don't forget faith, because the devil's going to test to see if it will shake. But you've got the power, authority to trample on the enemy, so put that fool in his place. Now, he may point out problems that are on the surface, but tell that Bama, get back. You've got a meeting with purpose. Inside you, there's so much vision that holds so much favor. Forget a due date. Let's induce this labor to deliver your purpose that started out as a seed and bring forth the harvest, because God saw the need to give you a purpose designed just for you. Now, doesn't it all make sense why you had to go through? See, your purpose is a gift that only God placed inside. And he placed it there because every joint supplies. Yes, you have a role in this production called life. I don't care who told you you weren't enough. I'm telling you, don't believe the hype. Go ahead and write the vision and make it very plain. Forget about your naysayers that think you're insane. There may be no one around when you get on your mark. But in order to reach the finish line, you just have to start. So never let there be a question of what you should do. For it's an assignment on your life that can only be birthed through you. Thank you.